And looking around the room, Madam Chair, we do have a quorum, and so we are ready to roll.
Have the RAC members introduce themselves. I'm Marilyn Massey.
Babbitt, past chair at large.
And good morning again. I did not introduce myself. My name is Jody Barker. I'm the director of the Area Agency on Aging. We're going to introduce you in a moment. Okay, go ahead, Maris.
I'm Maria Cordova. I work at the Independence Center representing Teller, Park, and El Paso counties.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Jaramillo with the Alzheimer's Association. I am also on the membership committee.
I'm Debbie Levin Stankiewicz, and I am a member of the RAC, and I am going to be the new assistant chair or vice chair.
Hi, I'm Joanne Ruth. I am representing the seniors of Colorado Springs.
All right. Jim Woodard, representing Teller County.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Bill, you're the last.
Oh,
one.
hi.
Oh, Bill Bowles, Park County.
Welcome, and welcome everyone.
Jared, do we have anyone online?
We do have a few members online. Mary, do you want to introduce yourself?
No.
Mary is online. I know she was having a little bit of technical problems earlier. And we also have Eric Bidwell online.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry. I've been out on leave for a couple weeks, so I'm just trying to get back on top of things, so I couldn't be there today. But my name is Eric Bidwell, and I'm a manager within the Department of Human Services and here in El Paso County.
Thank you. And Madam Chair, that is everyone, all the members who are online.
Thank you. We'll go forward now with agenda approval. I move approval.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We have a very short meeting this morning, and I'm going to skip down to action items. Okay, we'll do number 3.
I move we approve the minutes for March 23rd.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is there any public comments?
So Madam Chair, unless anyone online would like to offer public comment, we would ask that they please use the raise hand function in Teams. Otherwise, if there's anyone in the room, feel free to step up, but we have not received any advance requests for public comment either.
Thank you. We have some action items here that are we've been waiting for. And I'd like to introduce Rosemary, who's our membership chairman.
So today we have a vote for vice chair. Miss Debbie Levin Stankiewicz has honored us with putting her name in as vice chair, and so we're grateful for that. And so I don't know if we bring it for a vote.
That does serve as the motion.
Okay.
And so
I'll
just need a second.
I'll second.
Is that Mary?
Mary Cap.
Okay,
Yes.
Mary Cap second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Nice.
Motion
Thank you.
passes.
Thank you.
You now have extra duties.
Other duties as assigned. So, yes, and so then also today we want to recognize the town of Monument has appointed City Councilwoman Laura Kronick. And so we're happy to have you.
Thank you. Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you.
Would you like to take just a moment to?
Sure. My name is Laura Kronick. I am a newly appointed council member to the town of Monument. And prior to that, I've been on a lot of boards and Actually, I'm on the silver keyboard right now, so I'm also involved with local districts, and had to unfortunately resign from one of my commissions to be on council, but I'm happy to be there. I'm happy to be here, representing seniors all over the El Paso County area.
Well, we're very happy to have you here also.
Thank you.
Got to vote, right?
Nope.
That is an appointment, and appointed positions don't require that. We do have a formal letter from the town of Monument, and so that will go into our minute package as well. So we're all set with
All
Laura.
right. Well, let's move forward with presentations in fair.
So we, looking at 6A, we have no presentations today due to the provider fair. Are there any updates beyond what you just shared with us, Rosemary, on membership?
I do not have additional updates.
All right, thank you. Jen Nimmo is out today, and so we do not have any updates on the strategic review subcommittee. However, I will say that with the completion of the four-year area plan that was submitted on time, actually well in advance of the due date to the state. We are just waiting on their formal approval, and then Jen and the SRS committee will begin with their quarterly reviews with staff around that four-year plan. So that will be coming soon.
You
And
have
then-
any further as a director report?
Yes, just a couple quick things. Just wanted to share. We had very successful meetings last week with our state association. That was a Colorado Association of Area Agencies on Aging. We also had a very good meeting in DC with our national association, US Aging. So I've been out since last Wednesday afternoon. But very good meetings, good opportunities to hear from legislators, both state and federal legislative staff around aging issues. And so I will have a more comprehensive report on that next time. But just wanted to also share the ARPA funding. As you know, the notice of funding availability was released, and that's in process. And so do want to make sure that any of our providers who are in the room, if you have questions, feel free to catch up with me after the provider fair. We really want you to focus on the provider fair today. So if you have questions around application or what's allowable, what's not allowable, that kind of thing, don't hesitate to reach out to me anytime. You can reach me by email, even if I am traveling for work. I tend to multitask anyway. So feel free to reach out to me with any questions or clarifications you might be looking for. The last piece I'll share just came in last night. Next 50 Initiative has a new grant. And I would encourage our providers to consider this. If you're interested in it, I'd be happy to forward it to you if you've not already received it. It is Advancing Innovation in Aging Grant. And that grant period will open on May 15th with the deadline June 21st. So that's the next 50 Initiative, Advancing Innovation in Aging Grant. And as I shared last month's meeting, I have joined their Aging Funders Forum. And so we're looking at greater opportunities to spend, not just spend their dollars to help them with that.
Did I hear the word spin?
Yes. We want to make sure that, they have a pretty solid corpus, which is their base amount that they have to spend from every year. They are looking to expand their opportunities, but also to collaborate with other funders working within the aging realm. And so that's across Colorado. 80% of their funding has to be spent in the state of Colorado. 20% can be spent elsewhere, but 80%. And so that is fairly significant. And so, but wanted to make sure providers were aware of that. If you're not on their email list or their newsletter distribution, I'm happy to continue forwarding those. But that's the Next 50 initiative, Advancing Innovation and Aging Grant, runs May 15th to June 21st. If you're interested in getting that email, I'd be happy to forward it to you. Just come up to me today while we're here. So that's all I have for a chair report at this
Do you
time,
know the
Madam Chair.
dollars? Do you know the dollar amount that they have? that
I
they're-
do not. I have not dug that deeply into it. However, their corpus is 200 million. They have to spend 5% of that every year. 80% of that then is spent within the state of Colorado, and those are significant dollars. And when they first started, they were distributing twice a year on a semi-annual basis. But over the years, they have realized that that's not often enough to be able to spend what they are required to spend. And so they have begun adding additional projects through the year. And
5%,
so
$10 million.
$10 million, exactly. So, again, providers, if you don't receive those newsletters, do let me know. I'm happy to forward that to you this morning. Madam Chair, that's all I have at this time.
Thank you. I've been involved in that also, but I'm on their email list, and when they start doing another project, they usually ask for comments and interaction. And I found it's been very helpful for me to understand their plan and what we can use for. And another thing that I've been doing is I've been visiting the providers, but also I've been looking at other things that are happening in the community that we could be a part of, or at least be aware of, and make certain that they know we exist. Because that's one of our issues, is so many people don't know exist. And so that's my report.
So moving to number 7 with discussion items. Is there any discussion from amongst the board members?
So you had on your agenda a nutrition program discussion.
Yes.
I
Is there
have I
anything
missed
deeper there? No, you haven't. I don't think that we're ready to provide any deeper updates to that right now. We did our quarterly provider meeting was last Wednesday morning, and normally it's an opportunity to update our providers around funding, deadlines, technical assistance issues, information coming from the state or the feds around funding or around services. Last week, what we decided to do was to compress that into the first hour, spend the second hour specifically looking at our nutrition programs, idea sharing. That was the bulk of it, really, was idea sharing about how we can expand nutrition services in the future. And so that really was the bulk of it. Thank you for highlighting that. And so we did have that opportunity. We had all of our nutrition providers stay with us for that second hour. Most of them were here in the room with us after that. And just looking at opportunities because of the challenge of what we'll call the fluctuating funding, where we have our base funding, but over the last 2.5, 3 years, because of COVID, we've had the additional CARES Act funding, which effectively we had the funding, but we also had the allowances and the reduction of requirements during COVID to ensure that individuals received nutrition services, whether that was direct home delivered meals, pantry access to pantry foods, that kind of thing, distribution of those pantry foods, being able to use vehicles for transportation of food instead of people because of the stay-at-home orders. There's just an enormous amount of flexibility. The challenge with the funding is that all of that is being rolled back to pre-COVID standards. And as such, the requirements are changing. So people who qualified for home delivered meals during COVID will not. You know, some will because they always have, and maybe they just found out about the service. However, there is a large percentage of folks who will be moved off of those roles because they don't qualify due to pre-COVID requirements. Kathy, you have a question or? If you'll speak right there into Jared's mic.
So because of the cutback in food stamps, the SNAP program, the state of Colorado just came out with a grant for food pantries. And it allows for you to ask for 50,000 per pantry or 100,000 for a group. If anybody wants the information on this grant and has a pantry, grab my card and I'll email it to you. It's a tight window here. I think we have to apply by May 15th, somewhere in there. So it's a tight window. Okay.
Thank you, Kathy. So obviously this is exactly what we want to highlight is the collaboration possibilities amongst our providers. But that was a big part of the nutrition discussion last week during the quarterly provider meeting is the funding isn't changing. In fact, it's going back to our pre-COVID conditions, which are effectively flat funding across this current 5-year contract period with the state. But the reality is COVID not only brought more people into the program because they were at home, it's going to keep more people in needing the services because they qualify where they weren't aware of the programs before. And so, yeah, it was, I would say those of you who are with us, looking around, some of those folks aren't here in the meeting. It is a challenging conversation because how do you tell someone who qualified for out of no fault of their own, they qualify, now they don't qualify. And that our providers are really challenged with that. And those are conversations we were able to have both last week with our state administrators and this week with our federal administrators. No answers immediately came out of those conversations, but it is continually important for us to share those really boots on the ground, community-based needs and realities. And so that's where we were with there. I think that is that good summary. Okay. All right. So moving into the meeting schedule and
yes, our next meeting is May 25th.
yes, I'm sorry. I left off. Melissa has a quick announcement as part of discussion items.
So I just wanted to thank everybody again for being here today. I think it's been 3 years since the last time we had a provider fair in this room. So for some of you, it's the first time being in here. For others, it is definitely not the first time. You've been here many times, but so thank you guys. Today is really special because May is Older Americans Month. And behind the screen up front are a couple of flip chart papers. And so when we kind of dismiss, I want to encourage everybody as you're visiting with other providers and getting reacquainted with each other to take a moment and write some things up on the flip chart paper, because the theme for Older Americans Month for May is Aging Unbound. And it encourages us to not limit our thinking about aging. So how do we keep open minds about that? How do we explore and combat stereotypes? Let's emphasize the positive aspects of aging. What do those look like? Inspire older adults to push past traditional boundaries and enhance our community's diversity. So I hope that folks will kind of take a minute and maybe think about how your agency might kind of look at a couple of those things over the course of May and maybe write some ideas up behind once the screen gets raised up. So just wanted to put that out there, and then please enjoy the food. There's some biscuits.
Melissa, I'm sorry. I have no idea how to raise my hand or let you know I have something to say, but I wanted to piggyback with what you just said.
Oh, go ahead, Mary.
I'm getting emails from a group called Changing the Narrative. And I'm finding them very informative, very interesting. They have links to films that we can watch, different things. They come from two people named Sarah and somebody else, but I think they're associated with Jen Nimo on that program. And I'm just wondering, are we affiliated with them, or is this something that just fell into my purview because I'm on the rack?
So you were just fortunate enough to be kind of surfing the internet and finding them at some point in time. We know about Changing the Narrative. They're a really great organization, and I will put that up on the flip chart paper as a reminder of all the really good resources they do have, whether it's videos or webinars, in kind of, live webinar presentations that they do. So Changing the Narrative is great.
Oh, yeah, I'm really enjoying the information I'm getting from there.
They're also now part of Next 50 Initiative. So if you get those emails, you may start seeing that conversation. So just understand that they are formally connected now.
Just recently, I received that email too. I started out, and I don't know how they found me, but when they first started that narrative, so I've been able to learn along with them, but I'd just like you to know that they really like suggestions and explanations of what we can help each other. So it's a collaborative, the big C word.
It is the big C.
All right. Well, thanks. And just a reminder, we have a lot of food and I hope people will enjoy and eat it. We have biscuits that hopefully you'll think, if you are a meat eater, you'll put a little bit of ham and mustard on it and eat away, along with strawberries and vegetables. So please enjoy and think about aging unbound. Thanks.
Good meeting to come to. You're going to get to eat.
Can I just say a few words real quick? I just want to piggyback on Melissa and Mary's piggyback. Andy Gunning, Executive Director with the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments. Didn't realize it was 3 years since we did our last fair, and that's way too long. But this is really just a great demonstration of all the great work that the RAC is doing and the TRS, and just the great partnerships we have with all of our service providers. And just wanted to give a little bit of a shout out, a kudos as well. Last night, a handful of us went to the Goodwill recognition event, and they recognized, I think, about 10 or 12 key partners that Goodwill works with across the region and across the state, and the Pikes Peak AAA was one of them. And it's really, I think it exemplifies all the great partnerships working with our service providers, the work that the RAC is doing, that the Commission on Aging is doing, and the support from our board. So just wanted to pass that along as well. So it's just really a lot of really excellent work going on. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to meeting you and seeing how you describe your provider information to those that are interested. That didn't come out right.
The meeting was there.
The meeting is adjourned. I did. I'm going to repeat, the next meeting is May 25th.
And then we are adjourned to the provider fair. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.